Well, it's a brand new year, folks, and we're at the randomly picked place in the 23rd Walking Highlights draw. It's a very beautiful area, and we're starting the year at the National Exmoor Park, and really looking forward to seeing what views we're going to see. Today I'm in Hawkridge in Somerset. I'll be starting around here, and then I'll be going down this track onto this footpath, and we'll be right next to the River Bowl, and we'll follow it all the way down here, and then we'll turn round at Marsh Bridge and go all the way back up the footpath, back on the track and back to the car. So join me on my walk to see how I get on. Right, here we go, and it is very, very cold today. And look, we've got a sign here for Dulverton, 5.5 miles, got tar steps as well, and then of course Witherpool. Oh, very windy as well. So I believe we've got to go this way. There's no signal, folks, here whatsoever. We're very high up as well. So I managed to get some signal in the church grounds, folks. So if you need that bit of a connection to start with, just to check things, then that's where to go. Of course you can obviously download organic maps before you get here, but to get the map basically for the area. But look, there you go, restricted byway, Dulverton, 5.25 miles. Now we're not going all the way to Dulverton, but this walk today is going to link up the walk I did 2 years ago. Can you believe it? And that was January the 7th, 2022. And the weather there, if you've seen that, was very cold with all the snow. And look, you can see the ice here. I've only been out the car for a very short while, and my hands feel very cold and, well, not like that, almost like frozen. Not frozen, but that feeling, you know. So one hand's in the pocket, just to keep that warm. Thing is, it's very tricky to film and do this with gloves on. But there you go, here's our first view. Look at that. Beautiful. Very nice. An easy going track here. And you can still see the colours of the leaves as they've changed, of course. Real strong wind brushing through all the trees. You can see all the ice. Look at that. It's like smashing into glass, isn't it? I think you've got to be very careful if you're going to come to a place like this when it's this cold. Because there's pockets of ice and it's very up and down the roads, you know, you go up and then you go down, so you've just got to be like careful if you're going to come at this time at this temperature. Oh my goodness, it's so windy, it's crazy. I'm going to show you a shot over another gate, because it's another nice view. Dear oh me, didn't think it would be like this. There we go, look. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, it's biting, but it's worth it. It really is worth it. Well, being between 1 and 2 degrees today, that's what the online it was saying. But yeah, we are very high up here, and it makes that statement when you're definitely here, you know. It definitely feels colder, I would say, comparing it to Dulverton. I know it was snowing and that, but because of this real strong wind, the temperature feels a lot lower, if you get what I mean. It's nice to have a little bit of cover from it at the moment. I suppose in a way it feels like walking in a freezer with all this crunchiness in the middle there, with all the frozen mud. Well, we've got to go through a gate. At least it's not going to be like all muddy and horrible, but I suppose things will be at points anyway, regardless. Yeah, it says on the sign, dogs must be kept on leads because of obviously the livestock. Oh, hand's going straight back in the pocket. Then you've got the views again here. So look, private no access by horse or foot. You'll see quite a few of these signs. Look at this. But yeah, oh, a bit of sunshine. Every little helps, you know, just getting that little bit of warmth. Yeah, it does make a difference having it along here. The wind's got like a wall, you know, it's stopping it from hitting over here a bit. Well, is this completely frozen or not? But I'm not going down there, I'm going to go up here. It looks like there's loads of shards of ice down there, as you can see. Well, I haven't worn this blue regatta jacket since Crocombe back in March last year, because after that point it seemed to be getting warmer. So you don't have to wait too long until the weather does get better. But as I say, it's always nice to go through all these different seasons, isn't it? And we see so many different changes. We've got a signpost here, so let's have a little look. So there you go, Bridleway East Anstey Common, and then we've got, obviously that goes back to Hawkridge, restricted byway Dulverton 4.5 miles. So yeah, we want to go this way, which is what I plan to do. Again, look at this, you can see it's so dramatic, isn't it, the landscapes. So got that next to you as you go down this part. And people obviously live on that hill. Yeah, I mean, Hawkridge is very remote. You've got a lot of country roads that you need to go down to get here. I mean, like when it's really bad weather up here, like it's had a lot of snow. I was just speaking to a gentleman actually when I was parking my car, and he said that they would bring in supplies on helicopters for people. So let's just check. Presumably it's this way. Makes sense. But yeah, he was saying that and at the moment the level of the River Bowl, which you should see very soon, has gone way over what's called the tar steps that you can walk over to get to the other side. And because it's been such a strong current, the stones have kind of been washed down the river, and they've had to recover them and build them back up. And he was saying they weigh a ton. So can you imagine how strong the current is? Got some sheep there. I'll go into the I'll talk a bit about the tar steps soon and Hawkridge. And they've definitely got their woolly jumpers on, the sheep. It just shows you, doesn't it, how good nature is with like sheep and their wool. They definitely need it up here today, I can tell you. But it's great. It's amazing how that's all just been a natural thing. I suppose like a little bit of domestication's happened with sheep, I suppose, being livestock, but generally it is just like a natural thing of wool, isn't it? Fortunately, we need some signage, but we're not getting it at the moment. We're not getting it, and I think these sheep are thinking I've got something for them, but I haven't. Then again, I don't. There's a purple, these splodges of paint. I presume it's this way, but yeah. I'm guessing purple means that it is the right way. Anyway, we'll carry on and we'll see what happens. Yeah, rock hard ground. Oh, some molehills there. Looks like they made it into like a little city there or something, isn't it? Yeah, I just find it comical the way sheep look at you, like, as in, you're like, so who are you then? You know, what are you doing here? But, you know, I think that is some sort of So these sheep look a little bit different to, you know, your standard sheep. I don't know if they've got a certain breed up here, but oh. It's all good, we are on the right route. It felt right, didn't it? Because, as I say, we've got those purple like spots on the wooden pillars. That seems to be getting me by, doing that, and then just putting one of the hands in the pockets and then the other one's on duty, you know, holding the camera and stuff. So yeah, I've just gone through a gate into this woodland area, and I'll give you some information now about Hawkridge, as we've got a little bit of cover. So Hawkridge is one of the oldest communities on the moor, lying on the trackway that crosses the Barl at Tar Steps, and in sight of the barrows on Anstey Common. Its origins are very ancient. Certainly the church is one of the few on Exmoor to have Norman features, and it almost certainly has Saxon foundations. By Victorian times, the parish population was more than double what it is today, reflecting more working farmsteads, more cottages, and greater numbers of people needed to manage the soil. In 1867, it was reported that houses at Hawkridge were generally good with garden and allotments, but aside from the rectory at Tar Steps, built to take advantage of the romantic situation and which had a walled garden, the village did not have big houses. Life can still be challenging in the most characteristic of Exmoor settlements. Lifestyles have changed enough to enable the creation of the houses and gardens that are in the village today. The properties take full advantage of the views out to the sweeping moorland landscape, once looked on as a 50 barren ground, but now regarded as one of Hawkridge's great visual attractions. Well, you've got a shop back down there, and you've got the lovely sun coming through here, haven't you? Looks like a layer. You can see like all the way down here. It's sort of, well, I suppose you could call it a layer, but it's just reflecting on the different trees, and they've just got moss on them, haven't they? Each tree. Obviously, you can't forget to drink. I know you can be like, oh no, I'll do it later, but you just got to keep up that habit. But it's very steep on the other side of this. If you look through these trees, you can see right up the top. I'll sort of point up here, so it goes all the way up there. It's very steep up, and this is a sort of area you've gone to. Or you can hear the River Barl just down there. So we're getting right close to it now, but just got to be a bit careful here because it's got some stones sort of acting like sort of steps. But yeah, oh, this will be great to see. It's really great seeing this river again, and we've seen it a few times now, haven't we? Look at that, look how wide that is. It's very similar then to how it looks width-wise at Dulverton. And of course, we saw it at Simon's Bath. That may be pronounced Simmons Bath, because some people have been saying that to me. I think this is where the walk's going to get that little bit more interesting. Definitely. This is what we've come here for, isn't it? Oh, it's nice having the cover, as I said before. And there's the sign. Good stuff. Can't really read how, is it 3.5 miles maybe? Yeah, so you can go to Tar Steps as well. I won't be going there today, but something maybe to think about in the future. It's just because it's not really on this route that I'm taking. Exmoor, it really is a special place to visit. I'm so glad that I've been able to come here and show you, and we are exploring it all together. I mean, yeah, it's a big place, isn't it? Big park. I can hear water that side as well. So I can't point very well because my fingers are cold. No, this really is really cool. Taking it all in, and then look down here. Look at that. Could hear some sort of revving up in the background, maybe a chainsaw. Quite possibly a chainsaw, more than a moped or something. Oh, we're going to get to a bridge. We're going to maybe. We'll just keep an eye on the signs. So we've got a sign there then, so let's have a look. County Road, but no sign of Dulverton anymore. Okay, well presumably it's just we're crossing over, aren't we? So we've gone up this way where the signpost was pointing. Like up there, it's just looks like a dead end. But look at this. I mean, just to clear up a bit of confusion. So when we're on the left on the hill there, it's joining this, joining forces with this. So look at this. It's just such a wide river. Really is lovely to just watch for a moment. Again, one of nature's wonderful structures. Obviously it's dealing with a lot of rain and stuff still, so it's probably higher than it normally is, but sorry about having to do that. I know that this sort of bends to the right a bit at some point on this route, so yeah, it's great to see it again. It really is. The River Bowl. great to be back in this area. It's probably not as cold down here, but I'm wearing obviously wearing my jacket, I'm wearing a jumper, I'm wearing a t-shirt, my thick socks, those army socks that I've had for most of the time I've been doing these videos, since I think I mentioned them when I was doing the Otterton Circular. I think it was about that time, and they're still working really well for my feet. And you've got the continuous sound of the river next to you. And are we going to be going up and down, or are we going to stay right next to it? Only time will tell us, but look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That is a serious river, isn't it? The opportunity to get close to it here, and whilst we are hit close to it like this, I think maybe it's a good opportunity just to give you a bit of information. You may know a bit about it, but on my last the Dulverton walk, I did talk about it, but I'll bring it up again. Why not, as we're here? The River Barle is the largest river that flows through Exmoor National Park. It rises high on the central moorlands and passes well-known locations such as Landacre Bridge, Tar Steps and Dulverton before joining the River Exe near Exbridge. Now, the Barle is a grade 2 to 3 river. Now, this means it is not suitable for beginners and inexperienced paddlers, and you should be accompanied by a suitably qualified coach. Just got to get through this. Oh, it's quite deep. Quite deep. And a bit of ice. Right. Okay, we're all right. We're all right. It looks like we're going up here, which I thought we might do. But look at that. Lovely. What a lovely picture that is. Well, you could actually sit here and have your lunch if you wanted to. Not bad. Or you could lie down, actually, couldn't you? In a nice day, you could just be like this. Oh, not bad. Well, I could go to sleep here. It's quite a nice pillow. Really is. Could have a book. Could take a book, couldn't you? And just take a packed lunch. Happy days. Well, I'll see you shortly. I'm going to stay here. I feel like I'm sort of back and reunited with a wonderful piece of nature. It really is. And, you know, seeing it with your own eyes and having you here as well, of course, we're seeing it all together, aren't we? We really are. Oh, hands are still cold, but warmer than they were, so it's not so bad eating in a sheltered area like this. It does help if you can try and, you know, find a sheltered place to have lunch rather than in an open like field like we were earlier. That was just would be impossible. You're just trying to keep yourself and your hands warm at that point, aren't you? But here, you know, it's a lot better, much more manageable. I've also discovered another packet of crisps that I like. They're Jacobs, they're the crinklies, and they're full of flavour as well, but Frisps or Crinklies, for me it's still going to be Frisps. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this, and we've got to really get cracking really, because I think it does get darker quicker, probably in Exmoor, a bit like in Dartmoor. So we've just got to be mindful of that and get on with it. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be all right. I'm sure we'll get there, and I'm sure we'll get back. But it's probably going to be another one of those days where I get back to the car and it's dark. And yeah, it's just how it is at this time of year, isn't it? Getting dark at like 4:30, but the nights are pulling out because we're past the shortest day, aren't we? So it's good. Look at that, you can see the water, some more water going into the river. Stunning scenes, isn't it? And then up here we go. Feel a bit more energised after a stop and a bite to eat and the refreshment. Look at this. God. Oh wow, this must be stunning in the summer as well, mustn't it? Alright. Remember, we've got to do all this again to go back. So you've got to crack on a bit now. Thing is, I like my lay-ins if I'm off on a day off. Don't like getting up too early. That's why I sort of end up starting these walks late morning to early afternoon. And look, folks, we've got a little miniature crossing. I bet it's not that bad here when it's not been raining too bad. But over we go. Very quirky. Mind yourself going over there, you don't want to hurt your ankles. Right. So we just came up from there, and then we go this way, because going up there is, it just comes, just had a quick little look actually, and it's just comes up to a road talking about a farm, and this is obviously the way we need to be. Takes us back down to the river. Bit of a zigzag. And this is where you need a sign, isn't it? Really. Just a small basic sign is all it needs. There's that little miniature river crossing. There we have it. We're on a shelf up here. And the big steep hill over there, like we saw it earlier. Again, look how wide it is, that river. Doesn't look so wide on camera, but it really is wide when you're here. But you get a general idea. You can go that way. you can go that way, and I think I've done a massive sort of chunk. So on the way back we'll just make sure we go down there rather than up there. But yeah. Yeah, what a way to start January. And well, what a way to start the year. Seeing all this. I really do like it when it's like up on a cliff. Well, we're on a hill rather than the cliff, I suppose, aren't we? And then looking down at the river below us, it's a great effect. Oh, we've got to cross over some more water. Not too bad really, is it? All part of the journey, isn't it, today? You look down there, you can see how strong it is there. That's why they warn the beginners not to paddle in this river, isn't it, on their own? Oh, it's great seeing that. Amazing. All the waterworks they have here, it's like a whole big system, isn't it? This little scene of the area reminds me of like a fairy tale. Like the bright colours, the river, water going to the river, the unusual tree, look at that. Such an unusual, structure. You've got like the floor, it's like just a green carpet, isn't it? Cool. So much to spot and see here, isn't there? Wow, that's just beautiful. So tidy and just pleasing on the eye to see this, isn't it? Well, just saw the first person with a dog. Presumably we're not too far off if people are walking their dogs. Well, we've got a sign post here. Any indication? No. No indication of how far we've got to go. But yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. And it's always quicker on the way back, isn't it? You know how far you've been. It might be a bit dark on the last bit of getting back, but if it does, I mean, I've got my I've got like a light I can use, so it's not the end of the world, but we'll see. That would be the first time on the walking highlights that we'll be in the dark, but hopefully we won't be. Just a bit deep there with the mud, just concentrating on that for a moment. Obviously you can't really communicate with anyone down here still. There's no signal. Just bear that in mind. And walking a bit faster just keeps you warm. That you can go down there and see the river, but yeah, looks a bit muddy anyway, to be honest. No point going down there if you could get your foot stuck in mud or something. So yeah, just keep to the path as much as you can. I feel like I've walked for hours, and I probably have, but I'm loving every moment of it. At least with the path, you know how to get back, and you're not on the beaten track, are you? You know where you got to go back. But wow, just breathtaking, isn't it? It really is breathtaking place. It is like being in a gorge. It does feel like a gorge, and it just goes on and on and on. Those log piles, are they warning you not to go on them, as they do? Yeah, there's the sign just coming round, look. Keep off. Yeah. It's great. Well, we'll soon see, I'm sure. We'll see daffodils soon, won't we? I know I'm speaking a bit early about that, but it'd be great to see when they start coming out. Oh, there's a house. Is that the house that I got to from Dulverton? It's got to be, hasn't it? And I remember the chimney was smoking. If I can recognise that, then I'll be absolutely chuffed that we've got there, that we've linked it up. Don't think it is that one. It isn't that house, so onwards and upwards. But there's sign of can't say the word now. Civilization. Yes, there we are. Signal. Not far away now, and you can see we'll get to that road and we'll be able to turn round and be very proud that we linked this up with the Dulverton walk 2 years ago. And I'm going to walk quite fast walking back, so I've got the most light as possible. But as you're walking outbound, you're sort of taking it all in. You will walk slower. When you're walking back, then of course you will. You don't take it in so much, do you? I'll just touch on the tar steps. So it's a prehistoric clapper bridge, which is an ancient type of bridge formed from slabs of stone which weigh up to 5 tons apiece. It stretches across the River Barle. Nobody knows how old the bridge is, but it is considered to be one of the oldest bridges in the world. There is a circular, fairly flat walk along the banks of the Barle. After that, you can enjoy a cream tea or a cool glass of beer at Tar Farm Inn. There you go, smile on my face through this gate, and it looks like familiar territory here. And here we go past this. It's a B&B actually, Marshbridge Cottage. Give them a shout out. So footpath to Dulverton continues in 250 yards, so we'll just link it up from here because that's how far we got. So we'll just touch that footpath. Memories are going to be flooding back right now. It was like a long track from what I remember, past these houses. Oh, yeah, it's really coming back. It really brings it back. Wow. There you go. Just 1.5 miles to Dulverton. And look, I think their chimney is smoking. That's so cool. I'll go down here a minute and you'll just see that. Yeah. There you go, yeah. Amazing. But yeah. Like I say, on Dulverton we walked all the way up to here, so, and then yeah, brilliant. Oh, so great, it really is. Right, now we've got to go back. I'll give you a few shots of going back, and then I will meet you back at the car to give you my thoughts on today. And one quick extra little shot before we do go back. This is the bridge down here, and that is the expanse of the river at this point. And over this side, you've got to be careful around here because there's cars, but look at that. Oh, someone found their way out. We've got a lost sheep here, I think. Right, oh, hang on, so you're going to jump? No, I've never seen a sheep jump that high. It's alright, hang on. We'll sort this situation out, don't worry. I'm your hero, right. This way. Look, come this way. You'll get back with your mates, don't worry. Look, come on. Might be here a while actually, oh god. He's going the wrong way and I doesn't speak English. Look, so I tried to get the sheep through the door, well not a door, a gate, and he sort of ran round and went up the bank, looking at his mates through there, and I tried, I tried doing that whistle that some people do, I think, when they're trying to call livestock, but yeah, so I think he's going to be there all night in this little walkway between the two fields, unless someone else comes along and has got a better technique dealing with trapped lost sheep. I don't know. There we go, the walk is complete. I did 6.5 kilometres in the end, and I tell you what, it feels longer than that today. It really does. But I suppose it was all the going up and down, and going down to the river bow and then going up again and stuff, all that sort of thing was going on. But wonderful scenery, wasn't it? Absolutely stunning around here. You really notice the climate change when, you really notice the climate changes when you go down to the river bow from up here in Hawkridge. It's a lot colder, it's more windier, it's obviously more sheltered down there. I'm so glad we went all the way and continued going where we turned round for Dulverton 2 years ago, and linked it up. It's such an achievement, isn't it? We could have been like thinking, oh, we'll turn around. It's getting on. It might get dark, on the way back. But we've managed the time really well. And as you can see, it's just starting to get dark now, which is perfect. Obviously, I really got to move on coming back. You really had to. But and of course, there's not a great amount of signal, only spots. So just be mindful of that. But I certainly recommend downloading organic maps. I should have done that with this area. I should have just got on the map beforehand, and it would have downloaded it all for me. It's just something I overlooked, and we'll make sure that I do that more often, because you can't just rely on mobile data. But most of this was pretty straightforward, just a couple of places where you're like, do I go that way or do I go this way? But the majority of the time you're just following the river, and that's it, isn't it? So you can't really go too wrong. But yeah, now obviously this distance and the terrain and everything is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but you could just come here and you can do a little bit. You could go down to the river bow, chill there. Like I say, it was nice just sitting on that fallen branch or trunk, so to speak, and enjoying that moment right next to the river bow. It really was. And you can imagine going down there in the summertime when it's much more warmer, and it's been pretty cold today, and the hands are just, it's lovely to sit down and get in the car and warm up. I'm going to put the heating on very soon. But yeah, it's really interesting, and yeah, great little place. And it is in the middle of nowhere. And also, just as if you're coming here, you've got to be mindful of the hills. They're quite steep when you're driving in, and of course you've got to be thinking of the weather conditions. Better to come here when it's not too cold, so you can appreciate it. But wonderful to see more of Exmoor. And just sort of going back to that important topic, I think, about the sheep. So it just shows, doesn't it, how important it is to ensure that you close farm gates after you go through them, to prevent any livestock going through into another field, or anything like that could happen. So it's just something to make sure. It's all of us have that responsibility of, isn't it? And the parking in Hawkridge, so you can park along the road. There's like diagonal parking. There looks like there's some sort of like village hall, but I don't know if you're allowed to park in there, so I can't comment on that. But where I've parked opposite these residential houses, it seems to be okay. There's no sign to say you can't park here, and it's a residents only. So, but just obviously to show respect to the area, of course. But yeah, that's been good. I'm gonna head off and warm up, and I know it's a bit late to say this, but Happy New Year. Looking forward to another year of more adventures as we go through the different seasons. But look out for the next Walking Highlights draw, and join me for another walking journey very soon. And it's bye bye from me in Hawkridge.